All right, let's just jump right in. Welcome to this interactive explainer workshop. Today, we're unpacking some seriously profound philosophical texts to explore the concept of the master. And hey, don't let that term intimidate you. We're definitely not talking about dominating people or unlocking some mystical rank. Instead, we're going to look at how to use this archetype as a highly practical mental framework. It's a way to handle our daily struggles, beat that awful decision fatigue, and start making truly intentional choices. Think of this explainer as a personal mirror for your own development. Here is our agenda for today's session. We're going to cover 1. Awakening the inner master. 2. Endings as personal transformation. 3. The meaning in our struggles. 4. The endless pursuit of truth. And finally, living with intentional purpose. Basically, this masterclass will walk you through a structured, completely active process of self-transformation. So get comfortable and let's get to work. Okay, let's dive into this. Module 1, Awakening the Inner Master, the Progression of Mastery. Because before we can figure out where we're headed, we absolutely need to establish exactly where you currently are in your personal journey. So, the progression of growth is often broken down into 3 distinct phases. First up is step 1, the apprentice, which is all about discipline. Setting your alarm, showing up, just building those basic routines. Then step 2 is the fellowcraft, focusing on intellect, acquiring skills, and getting really good at your trade. But step 3, the master. Well, that's where the magic happens. It's all about transformation. True mastery isn't some shiny rank to achieve, it's a massive inner shift. You're moving from just getting things done to developing a much deeper, profound awareness of life itself. Moving right along to Module 2, Endings as Personal Transformation, Reframing the End. Now, to truly hit that level of transformation we just talked about, we have to confront something most of us try our best to avoid: the highly uncomfortable reality of endings and loss in our fast-paced modern lives. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how we redefine what is honestly one of the heaviest concepts out there. We aren't looking at death as a literal physical end. No. It's a daily opportunity to shed bad habits, ditch toxic situations, and just let go of outdated illusions about ourselves. The master confronts these metaphorical endings willingly, knowing that shedding the old is the absolute only way to transform. And that boils down to this fundamental truth. To understand life, you must understand its limits. I mean, if we had infinite time, we'd probably never get off the couch, right? Recognizing our boundaries, the fact that our days and our relationships have a finite span, is the exact thing that gives our daily routines actual urgency and real meaning. So I want you to treat this like a live workshop right now. Literally, take a second to pause and reflect on this. What does death or an ending mean to you? When a project wraps up or a chapter closes, do you freeze out of fear or do you step into it as a necessary transformation? Seriously, examine your own fears of change right here. It's a total game changer. Module 3, the meaning in our struggles, the alchemy of struggle. Let's be real, we're all dealing with modern burnout and decision fatigue. But let's look at those everyday roadblocks through a totally different philosophical lens, the lens of suffering and sacrifice. And this brilliantly illustrates the whole dynamic. Suffering refines character, sacrifice gives meaning to life, and struggle leads to transformation. We spend so much energy, and money honestly, trying to optimize our lives to avoid any friction whatsoever. We want everything completely seamless. But your daily roadblocks are not getting in the way of your path. Actually, scratch that, they literally are the path. They are the very mechanisms of your personal growth. Because true understanding often comes through difficulty. Let's ground this for a second. Think about a brutally tough project at work that pushed you to the brink. Or maybe a really awkward, difficult personal conversation you had to initiate. The clarity and growth on the other side, it didn't come easily. It was forged in that exact difficulty. The master accepts that friction is a feature of a meaningful life, not a bug. Module 4, the endless pursuit of truth, the elusive truth. Embracing struggle is one thing, but how do we make our daily decisions when the ultimate truth of a situation just feels totally lost or completely hidden? Just compare these 2 different mindsets. On the left, we've got the illusion of certainty. We all kind of want perfect data and guarantees before we make a move, right? But demanding absolute certainty in a chaotic world just leads to massive anxiety and paralysis. Then on the right, the path of mastery. The master knows that absolute truth is elusive. Instead of needing to be the smartest person in the room, they approach daily choices with an open, incredibly humble mind, continually seeking truth rather than claiming they own it perfectly. What truths in your life feel lost or hidden right now? Let's take another pause. Just sit with that for a second. Look inward. Identify where you're struggling to find meaning or clarity in your current routine, and give yourself full permission to just not have all the answers today. Module 5, Living with Intentional Purpose, the Master's Final Choice. So the crucial point is, how do we actually take all these profound concepts, shedding illusion, embracing struggle, seeking truth with humility, and apply them to the finite time we have left?
Life gains meaning when we recognize its limits. This really synthesizes the whole shebang. It's a bit of a paradox, but a beautiful one. Your actions, your thoughts, and your moral choices carry such profound, lasting significance precisely because our physical existence is strictly temporary.
When these texts talk about immortality, they aren't just talking about an afterlife. They are talking about lasting significance in the here and now. True immortality is found in the everyday stuff. It's in the tone of the emails you write, the integrity of the projects you build, and the empathy you show in the interactions you have today. You're leaving a lasting impact on others, literally shaping reality for someone else long after you've left the room. So to make this incredibly practical, we've synthesized everything into this actionable checklist, the Master's Daily Framework. First, recognize your time is finite. Use that boundary to prioritize what matters. Second, accept struggle as a tool for growth. Stop running from the friction. Third, commit to truth and justice humbly. And finally, live for something greater than yourself. This is your toolkit to step right into the role of the master in your own life starting today. I want to leave you with this final, provocative thought as we wrap up. How will you live differently today, knowing your time is finite? Don't just ponder it. Let it dictate your very next action. Go out there and align your next conversation, your next email, and your next decision with lasting virtue and intentional purpose. Thanks so much for joining me in this Explainer workshop. Keep seeking, keep growing, and I'll catch you next time.